Hey guys, I'm Daisho and I'm here bringing you the second season of Enduranked. And I did this last year where the idea behind the series was to get me to play some more ranked matches, which there was a difference on Xbox. I don't know if there still is or not because I haven't played it for 2014 between regular matches and ranked matches. And what I was doing is the ranked matches, I wanted to stay in the top 50. I think I was at 44 when I started Enduranked. And so I was only playing like the best decks, so mostly Goblin deck or whatever the best decks were, and this series was kind of to force me to play other decks in ranked so that I wouldn't care so much about my ranking. This game I don't really care as much. I got into the top 10, which was pretty awesome, but it was sort of by accident, and I wasn't like really focusing on it. But now I'm 154th, so I mean that's still pretty good, but there's no way that I'll ever come close to the top 10. The ratings were much more volatile on the Xbox. I don't know the difference between the rating systems that they use, but you just had to win like 20 games in a row or something like that to get into the top 10. Whereas this one, if I just go on 20 game win streak, it won't really do that much. It'll probably get me in the top 100 maybe. But then if I lose one in the middle, then it barely changes anything. Whereas if on Xbox you lost one, then it made a huge difference. But anyway, not the point. The other reason why I wanted to play Enduranked was to sort of give you guys like a mini deck guide, because before I played with each deck, I would show it to you, but I already did that, so I don't need to do that part. But anyway, the other thing is the way that it works is I play with each deck in a ranked match until I lose, and that way it was another way to see sort of which one was the best. Obviously, it doesn't really show that because chances are I'm not going to lose because my deck's bad, but because I draw poorly. So I kept getting frustrated because I kept getting mana screwed. Like I lost with Born of Flame, and then I won a lot with the life gain deck or something ridiculous like that. But anyway, I don't think that I'm really going to change the rules much. I thought about doing it last time, maybe making it 2 losses or maybe getting rid of mana screw games or something like that. But instead, I'm just going to jump right in, and it'll be fun, I hope. One of the main things that happened last year was that I kept getting so frustrated because I really was annoyed about losing the ranked matches, but I don't care as much, especially since the losses aren't so bad, and because I'm not that worried about the rating or the ranking anymore. Being 150th or 110th doesn't really matter to me. I got to number 10, and that's the highest I'll get to because I am way behind the people who are like number 1 and stuff. So yeah, I'm at the point where other people were at the beginning. By the way, I don't know if I said so. I'm starting with Mind Maze, but like the first day or the first few days, somebody was, this is a sweet hand, somebody was at over 2,000 points, and I'm at 1,997. So it's pretty ridiculous how well those people have done. But I suppose I haven't really played that much online. You've seen most of it. I mean, there is actually the occasional day where I played a bunch of games. Actually, I guess it's not exactly true. All right, so I have a really bad matchup here. But I have a way to do really well. I need to just get this Lord of the Unreal to survive a turn. So I think I'm just going to play it now, just to avoid any of his 3 mana removal. And if I can do that and he taps out or something like that, I can play this image and get some value out of it. The problem is if he leaves mana up, he might have like a Searing Spear, but there's only 1 Searing Spear in the deck. So I think I'm just going to go for it. Worst comes to worst, I get to Phantasmal Image as Goblin Arsonist, which would be pretty bad, but right. Doesn't look like he... No, it looks like he has something, but he's not sure if he wants to play it or not. Alright, so he's just going to drop a Torch Fiend, which will give me a huge advantage in the matchup because I'm going to be able to get a Hexproof Lord of the Unreal. So that is the most important thing. The only thing that he can do now is cast Flame Break. And this thing is a 4/4 right now, but it will become a 3/3 once this one dies. So if he does have Flame Break, then he can kill my Lord. Otherwise, my Lord is here to stay, gives all of my illusions hexproof, and it has hexproof itself. So he's just going to Searing Spear the Lord of the Unreal, so I'm just really lucky that he didn't do that last turn. But this thing is now hexproof, and it's just a huge, huge advantage. Yep. He knows he made his mistake. I mean, playing the Torch Fiend is a fine play. He wants to get some pressure on the board. He knows that I'm an aggressive deck, but you have to kill the Lord of the Unreal the first turn it comes out just because of the possibility that that I can get a hexproof one. But now I've got 4 mana, so I could just play this Illusionary Servant, but it would be more mana efficient and also add more power to the board if I just played double Gossamer Phantasm. So we're looking pretty good here. Man, a Flame Break would completely wreck me though, because he'd be able to kill this Lord of the Unreal, which would be so hard for him. Then he can use both of these Arsonists to ping both of my Phantasms and get them too, even though Flame Break only does damage to non-flying creatures. But yeah, this is actually working out really well for me so far. And even though I don't think that this matchup is that great, looks like may be able to pull it out. Alright, so he's just going to attack me for 2, which is interesting. I don't really care. I'm just going to attack him back in the air next turn. Ooh, another Illusionary Servant. That is definitely good. So I'm basically just hoping he doesn't draw Flame Break. But the reason why he's attacking, I think, is because he realizes that there's no way he's going to win the long game unless he draws Flame Break. There's a Crimson Mage. That's not going to do much. So he has to basically start attacking me. But it looks like, I mean, the way my opponent built his deck, he just has so many creatures in it. And, I mean, if he's running the Crimson Mages and the Torch Fiends as well, then, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of that version of the deck. But let's charge in there with our flyers. There's a good chance he just trades off. Actually, I definitely could have just Frost Breathed that thing. But now if he wants to cast it again next turn, then he has to do some damage to me and cast it, and then I can just Frost Breath and tap it down and win the game. So he has to draw something here, and I don't even... there are very few cards that would get him out of this situation. Alright, but it's just another Torch Fiend, so like playing all these useless creatures, it's not really worth it, and I don't know. Anyway, that's going to be the first game, and I think that what I'm going to do is, instead of playing multiple games against the same person, is try and get a new opponent each match. That way I can't just play the same bad player over and over again. Not saying my opponent this game was bad, but if it does happen that I find a bad player, then I feel bad, but if it does happen that I find a bad player, then I don't want like 10 wins against one person, and that would just be a little less interesting to watch, I think. So anyway, Mind Maze got its first one. Oh yeah, I was supposed to say before I did this that in the comment section you should guess how many games you think I'm going to be able to win with each deck. So with Mind Maze, how many do you think I'll end up winning? And your opinion might have just changed after seeing this starting hand, but I'm just going to mulligan that one. Alright, so this is not great, but also not terrible, because I do have some good things in that I have turn 1 Grizzle Blues on the play, which is awesome. My opponent's got 72 cards in his deck, and I also have a Divination in hand, so I can get that card back that I lost. Leads off with a Swamp, could mean a number of things. Counterspell is not a bad draw here. I think I'm just going to drop a Jace's Phantasm. I don't think any of the Swamp decks really have 2-drops that are ridiculous that I don't want to resolve. And I'd rather just get the extra power on the board. Let's see. Alright, so he's just playing zombies, and yeah, it's just a Black Cat. Although, man, I really do not want to have to discard a card. Alright, there's another land, so let's just divinate. And then decide... yeah, I can discard one of these. Hopefully it'll be the land, but none of the others are that good that I really don't want them to be discarded. Maybe he won't block. Okay, he'll block. Just because I have the option to get rid of that creature so early, and it's really just a 1-for-1, but I don't lose any mana out of it, so it's not like that big of a deal. Veiled Sentry. Alright, I didn't really want to lose that one. But at least I do have Chronozoa for next turn. This is a turn that I actually wanted to keep up Counterspell, but all he's got, again, is a Walking Corpse. So, I mean, that's okay, but he is just going to be able to trade off unless I draw Lord of the Unreal. Oh my god, that was a sick draw. Not only that, but now I have Counterspell backup. Lord of the Unreal with Counterspell backup is absurd. Counterspell is the only counter I run in this deck. I check out the cancels and the Dream Fractures because so much of the time your counters are like dead and they don't do anything. I'd much rather run the tempo spells like Claustrophobia, Unsummon, and Frost Breath. But yeah, this game is definitely looking like it's in my favor right now. Yep, countered. And he's on 4 cards still, so it's definitely not over, especially if he's got something like Tendrils. Hopefully he attacks here. I just want to get in for as much damage as possible. Thank you. Because if he didn't attack, then I wouldn't be able to block with my Lord, or attack with my Lord. But now I can hit him for 7, take him down to 12, and I have him dead in the air next turn. And there is Phantasmal Image. I think I'm just going to actually drop this guy. Even though it's less mana efficient, I don't really care that much about mana efficiency right now since I don't have any cards in hand. And this will help me get in for 2 more this turn and take him down to 9 so he's dead to this Jace's Phantasm, as well as me having a Hexproof Lord. If he does get to kill this Lord of the Unreal though, then he won't be dead, but it depends. I mean, he's got like very few outs right here. Mutilate. Oh god, that is definitely one of them. I completely did not think of Mutilate. Well, that is interesting, to say the least. I'm just going to drop this guy. I mean, he's got to have removal for this turn and next turn as well. And he doesn't have any pressure on the board. He's got 4 cards in hand, though. That was brutal. Alright, so he's got... Man! I should have played the Illusionary Servant, because now he's... going to be able to get value out of it. He's going to get back his War Chief, obviously, but he can't really cast it next turn unless he's got land and... Oh, yes. Actually, the bear does not help that much. But he can't have another board sweeper since there's only 1 Mutilate in the deck. Forgot about Mutilate. That was rough. But I don't think I would have played any differently. In fact, I think saving the Chronozoa was even better. But see, this is why it was so important for me to play the Chronozoa first, because I got to play the bear and the Servant this turn. And he's got a Nightmare. Well, let's draw a Lord of the Unreal off the top, or an Unsummon, or a Claustrophobia, or a Frost Breath, or a land. Alright, well, this is definitely not looking good, but we have a lot of outs because this deck is so full of tempo. Yeah, my opponent played this one pretty well. Alright, so he's got the War Chief, we already knew that. But if he doesn't have removal, then he can't attack. Death Baron. Again, so he can't attack, but we still win to any of those spells, any of those draws. Or we can draw more lands. I mean, it's not unreasonable since I do have a good number of lands to spells in this game so far. But endless ranks. Alright, well that'll kill me eventually, but hopefully before that happens, I can draw something. So he had like everything he needed. He had the Mutilate, and then he had the removal spell followed by the creature. So that was really just the ideal set of draws. So he's not even attacking with his grounded creatures. That surprises me. There's the Claustrophobia. Alright. So, I mean, like, this does not count as a Izdaisho draw, because it took me 3 draws to draw one of about 10 cards in my library. Probably even more. But, yeah. Because there's also the Lord. No, the Lords wouldn't have helped. The Lord would have helped for 1 turn, but, yeah, alright. So, we managed to pull that one. Pull that one down, across, through, with, I don't know. But that'll be it for this video. I'll do more another time. We'll see how many games we can get with Mind Maze. Maybe upwards of 74, possibly. I don't know. We'll see. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.